This is Jordan Tower with JT News. I hope you guys are all having a great Saturday. Let's just get right into the news. I hope you're having a positive day. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button for positivity. And I appreciate you guys very much. Let's get right into it. So, Nicki Minaj did a song with Chance the Rapper. She had him on Queen Radio. We'll get to that in a second. She also had her ex-manager Fendi up there, and they were able to squash all their problems, which is very positive, okay? After years of discrepancy over this and that and having animosity towards each other, they were able to work it out. I think that's great, okay? You know, you can move forward. It's better to move forward clean. Even though you guys might not be the best of friends afterwards, at least you cleared the air, you know, and you were adults and able to sit in the room and just clear the air. And Deb, another ex-manager of Nicki Minaj, also got on the phone and, saluted Nicki for breaking down doors for females and letting people know how hard it was for Nicki to try to get a deal before the Wayne deal that Fendi put in place originally went through. So let's get into this. So Fendi came up there and they just talked about the past and how things went down and the things that really disappointed her. That was such a... I was around during that time, and I have nothing bad to say about anything because some situations I didn't even take part in, like when Fendi and Deb and all that. I wasn't really around for that. I had kind of moved on. I was around during the first stuff when I did Nicki's first couple videos, and I was around and doing the come up with Fendi at that time. And, it was good times, man. It was good times for everybody. Gravy, Fendi, Nicki, me. We were all just figuring it out, Fendi was very hardworking. You can never take that away from Fendi. He was very hardworking. He pushed everybody forward. His way of doing things are different, but that's fine. As many times as he's taken shots at me, Nicki, or Gravy, I've never, there's no point, But anyways... Nicki and him were able to work it out and just, kind of move on. She let him know that, she didn't want to be pushed as a sex symbol in the way he was doing it, calling her Super P, we know what that means. I can't say it on here, but, and that bothered her. And around that time, Deb had started managing Nicki because Fendi had her signed to a different kind of deal under Dirty Money, and he needed a manager to kind of manage her. And after many failed attempts with other managers, he thought Deb, who was managing Gucci, and OJ the Juice Man at the time would be perfect. Introduced them. Deb came in and did what a manager would do and protect her artist. And, kind of stood up for her as a female. And, Fendi was just doing what he had to do. He said, maybe I made mistakes. I was just doing what I knew what would sell. I was just trying to sell the product. I agree with him on that. That sometimes... And maybe it was wrong, but he was doing what he was trying to do, a Hail Mary to get her sold. A lot of people knew Nicki from the come up around that time. I remember when we did the Wayne thing, the Wayne video, a lot of people were waiting for Off the Bus. This is around the time, I guess, Fendi wasn't able to travel with her, and I had to travel with her like once or twice. But then after that, he brought her to Wayne. I remember that session. Fendi definitely deserves the credit he gets for her that she was giving him for her part of her career. Because even though the Deb thing happened and she grew more as an artist there, essentially the thing that really changed her life was Fendi using his connections to get to Wayne and then having Wayne take interest in her, because ultimately that's the deal that went through that mattered in the end of the day. And Deborah just developed her more as an artist. And Nicki's a hardworking person. So she did go off on Fendi a little bit about the magazine cover that he had put her on, saying like selling her as a sex symbol in a different kind of way. But they worked it out. And, Fendi told his side of the story, she told her side, and at the end of the day, they could both agree that, hey, they both worked towards something great. I remember. Now, the funny thing is, this stuff doesn't faze me anymore. But like when people talk about certain things that I was definitely involved in, like she was talking about the warning video and how we were in the hotel all night making it work. That was just me and her friends, and I was pushing for that to be a great video, even though nobody wanted to film that long. But I remember us taking apart the whole hotel room to make sets. I remember us took a bed apart and pushed it against a wall and used the headboard that was put against the wall as like a backdrop. And then we used the bed, and then we used the bathtub, but we made it look like a huge bathtub by putting candles around it and everything. Like, we did that all in like a $200 a night hotel room. And that was just, I was working with work lights from Home Depot that cost $10, for all that time during my career at that point. 2006, I think that was. And like, that's the best part of your career is the beginning. Now, of course, my name wasn't mentioned during any of this, and I don't care. It doesn't really, when you get older, it doesn't really matter anymore. It probably would have bothered me 10 years ago. It does not bother me anymore. My tag's on the video, so forever my tag will be on the video, so you can't really just take the credit away from me. It's there permanently. So don't get it twisted. When someone posts it and my tag's on it, that's not showing love. That means that I put my tag specifically on those videos so they couldn't be removed, But yeah, congratulations to Nicki. She has one of the top shows. She kind of alluded that she gave more info on her and her boyfriend from Queens, that this was a forever thing, and that she's happy, which is great, and that she alludes in this Chance the Rapper song that she's going to be a wife and be married. The lyrics in there, which is good. Chance the Rapper came on and did his thing. So it's all good. And then Deborah got on the phone and saluted her and said, you were the hardest working person that I know. We used to go to labels and they weren't interested in you, and you would cry but then wipe your tears away, and we would amp each other up, and the next morning you'd be in studio. It's either you're gonna want it or you don't want it, and Nicki wanted it, so she made it happen. There you go. But yeah, it was that was pretty interesting to hear her and Fendi finally 10 years later hash it out, because about 10 years ago that's when everything went downhill, and then years following, Fendi, dissed her, me, Gravy, anybody that he was associated with at the time. But Fendi seems like he's a better place, and he's still busy working with Fab, Jadakiss, and everything, and he's doing his thing. I'm pretty sure he still has stores in North Carolina at clubs. He's always going to be a go-getter, So I have nothing bad to say ever. I mean, it's not. I'm sure everyone has bad things to say about people, but like, why? Still, that was a special part of my life, Nicki's life, Gravy's life, and his life. We were all just figuring it out and making it happen. That's the best. That's the best time in any career. That's why I think some people start companies and they sell them and just start over again, because the best time is when you're starting something new in the unknown. Like that. Let that be a lesson to anybody listening. You might be starting your journey now, and that's the best time that you don't really appreciate the most, because you're just doing things out of pure necessity. You might not have the money to put ads on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and maybe you just print flyers and you go hand to hand. You just do what you got to do, and then when it starts working, it just starts working. The universe has a way of making things work. Fendi and Nicki's thing it's years. I mean, we put her on a bunch of come-ups. We did a bunch of videos. I think we did like 5 videos, so that was probably 5 come-up DVDs, right? 4 or 5. We were dropping a come-up every month. And, Wayne saw it, but that wasn't like, oh, you're on after that. Wayne saw it, liked it, wanted to meet her, but then there was a time in between where Fendi had to put her with Deb, and Deb got her with Waka and Gucci and OJ the Juice Man, and she moved her down to Atlanta, And that intermediate time is where Nicki really grew into her own artist without Fendi setting up photo shoots and this and that. She became her own person and learned how to do things on her own. And it didn't seem like Wayne's Young Money was really going to take off, or even if she was going to be a part of it. I remember the first Young Money video came out, and I was friends with Jay Mills at that time. And he was like, yeah, I'm Young Money. And I remember the first Young Money video came out was Jay Mills, Drake, Little Chucky, Twist, what Little Twist. What are the other ones? Gutta Gutta. But Nicki wasn't a part of it until last minute, until they did the next video. I remember where Lloyd was on the hook, and that's when it was over, you know? Like, it just went. Then I remember Nicki's first video came out with Hype Williams, and Amber Rose was in it, and it just didn't hit. But I remember the next video hit. You know, like, I was like, geez, how do you get this far and it doesn't hit the first thing? Because Nicki was on fire at this time, you know? Everybody was wondering what Nicki was going to do, you know? I think it's also funny that, you know, they didn't address everything in that interview with Fendi because, and I know why they didn't go there, because why bring it up, but like, you know, Fendi's like manages Lil' Kim too, you know, and that's Nicki's nemesis, also inspiration and nemesis. But I know why they didn't bring that up, because they probably didn't want to give the light, you know, like start something up with Kim, you know. But anyways, you know, it's positive. Everybody's coming, you know, after a certain amount of time goes by, if not too much damage is done. You know, Nicki was doing it on her platform too, so she could shut his mic off and everything. And I think Fendi played it right. We're just, you know, he joked around as he does usually and everything. It was good. It's good vibes, man. So I'm sure they all came out of that situation feeling better, you know, close a chapter and move forward. So salute to all of them. Anyways, guys, appreciate you guys. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe.